Have you ever landed in a new country and felt like your entire perspective on food just shifted overnight? It happens to the best of us. You walk into a place expecting a simple meal, and instead, you get a story on a plate. That's exactly what happens when Americans first touch down in Brazil. It's not just a vacation, it's a sensory overload. You come for the beaches, the rhythm, and the energy, but you stay and keep coming back because of the food. It's vibrant, it's intense, and honestly, it's addictive. Today, we're going to talk about those specific Brazilian dishes that Americans just can't seem to forget. We're talking about the flavors that haunt your dreams long after your flight home has landed. It's a journey through culture, history, and a whole lot of deliciousness. So, pull up a chair, grab a snack, and let's dive into the heart of Brazil. First up, we have to talk about the absolute legend, Feijoada. Now, if you've never had it, imagine a black bean stew that's been simmering for hours, maybe even all day, with a variety of salted pork and beef. It's the kind of dish that demands your full attention. It's not just a meal, it's an event. Traditionally served on Saturdays, it's the ultimate comfort food. The preparation is a labor of love, often requiring the beans and meats to be soaked and slow-cooked to perfection, allowing the collagen from the pork to thicken the broth into a rich, velvety consistency. When you're sitting there with a bowl of feijoada, paired with fluffy white rice, crispy farofa, that toasted cassava flour that adds a necessary crunch, collard greens sautéed with garlic, and a bright slice of orange to cut through the heavy, savory richness, you're not just eating, you're participating in a centuries-old ritual. Americans are usually caught off guard by the depth of flavor here. It's earthy, it's savory, and it's deeply satisfying. It's the kind of food that tells you to slow down. You don't rush a feijoada. You savor it. You talk with friends over it. It's the heartbeat of the Brazilian weekend. It's soul food in the truest sense of the word, rooted in the history of the country and the resilience of its people. The balance of the salty meat against the creamy beans is a masterclass in culinary architecture. You'll find that as the afternoon stretches on, the conversation flows just as easily as the caipirinhas, and you realize that in Brazil, food is the primary vehicle for social connection. It's not about how fast you can eat, it's about how much life you can share while the pot is still warm. Then, there's the Pão de Queijo. Oh, the Pão de Queijo. If there's one thing that could start a revolution, it's these little cheese bread balls. They're crispy on the outside, incredibly chewy on the inside, and packed with that sharp, salty kick of Minas Gerais cheese. The magic is in the cassava flour, or polvilho. It gives it that unique, stretchy, gluten-free texture that you just don't find anywhere else in the world. I've seen Americans walk into a bakery in São Paulo or Rio, buy one just to try it, and walk out 5 minutes later with an entire bag. It's an obsession. It's the perfect snack. Whether you're grabbing one on the go from a street vendor or sitting down in a cafe with a strong, dark Brazilian coffee, it just works. It's humble, it's simple, but it's perfect. It's one of those things that, once you've had it fresh out of the oven, steaming and aromatic, you'll be looking for it in every city you visit back home, only to realize that nothing quite compares to the original. The contrast between the crunchy, golden brown crust and the soft, elastic interior is addictive, creating a sensory loop that makes you want just one more. It is, quite simply, the greatest snack ever invented. Now, let's talk about the big one, churrasco. If you've been to a Brazilian steakhouse in the States, you think you know what this is. But let me tell you, experiencing it in Brazil is a completely different ballgame. It's not just about the meat, it's about the culture of the grill. The churrasqueiro is an artist, a master of fire and salt. They treat every cut of meat with absolute respect, from the picanha, that iconic, melt-in-your-mouth top sirloin with its signature fat cap, to the spicy sausages and the crispy, charred chicken hearts. Yes, I said chicken hearts, and trust me, you need to try them. They are surprisingly tender, possessing a texture similar to a dark meat chicken thigh with a deep, mineral flavor that is unlike anything else on the grill. The atmosphere in a traditional Brazilian churrascaria is electric. It's noisy, it's busy, and the servers are constantly coming by with skewers of meat that are cooked to absolute perfection over open flames or charcoal. It's a carnivore's paradise, a place where the protein never stops flowing. But more than that, it's a communal experience. You're sharing this feast with family and friends, and you're celebrating the simple joy of eating well. There is an inherent generosity to the service. The goal is to keep you satisfied and happy, and the pace of the meal is set by you, not the kitchen. It's primal, it's luxurious, and it's unforgettable. You walk out feeling like you've been part of an ancient banquet, fueled by the mastery of fire and the highest quality cattle, which is a point of immense national pride. Moving on to something that's probably the most misunderstood export, açaí. In the US, we've turned açaí into these super expensive, pretty-looking smoothie bowls loaded with granola, coconut shavings, and fancy tropical fruits. But in Brazil, it's a way of life. Especially in the Amazonian north, it's often eaten as a savory side dish, served alongside fried fish and farina, acting as a cooling, creamy accompaniment to a hot meal. However, in the rest of the country, it's this thick, purple, frozen cream that gives you an energy boost like nothing else. The real açaí doesn't taste like a strawberry smoothie. It's earthy, it's rich, and it's slightly bitter, a complex flavor profile that is usually mellowed out with a touch of guarana syrup. When you're walking down a street in Rio on a blistering summer day, nothing beats a cold, purple bowl of authentic açaí. It's refreshing, it's fueling, and it's absolutely part of the Brazilian identity, particularly for the surfing and gym-going crowds who treat it as the ultimate pre- or post-workout fuel. When Americans try the real thing, they're usually shocked at the difference in intensity. It's not a dessert bowl, it's a nutritional powerhouse that feels like liquid gold in the heat. It's the taste of the rainforest translated into a cold, revitalizing treat that clears your head and powers your afternoon. And then, we have the Brigadeiro. If you have a sweet tooth, you're in trouble. This is the king of Brazilian sweets. It's basically condensed milk, cocoa powder, and butter, cooked down until it's thick and fudgy, then rolled into a ball and covered in chocolate sprinkles. That's it. But somehow, it's so much more than the sum of its parts. It's decadent, it's creamy, and it's the centerpiece of every birthday party, wedding, and holiday in Brazil. It's nostalgia in a bite. It's the kind of treat that makes you feel like a kid again, the kind of sugar rush that is worth every single calorie. I've seen grown men and women go absolutely wild for these things, fighting over the last one on the platter. They're addictive, and honestly, why wouldn't they be? It's pure, unadulterated comfort. It's the perfect end to a Brazilian meal, a small, dark chocolate orb of happiness that lingers on the tongue. People always ask for the recipe before they leave, only to discover that while the ingredients are simple, the technique of getting that perfect point of thickness, the ponto de brigadeiro, is a skill that takes practice. Finally, let's talk about the reactions. I love watching the faces of travelers when they try these foods for the first time. There's always that moment of hesitation, especially with something like feijoada or the chicken hearts, followed by genuine surprise and then, pure delight. It's a universal language. Food brings us together. It breaks down the barriers of language and culture. When you're sitting in a local restaurant, surrounded by the hum of conversation, the smell of wood smoke, and the taste of something totally new, you're not just a tourist anymore. You're part of the fabric of the place. You're experiencing the country the way it was meant to be experienced, through its flavors, its textures, and its history. It's beautiful, really. These dishes aren't just calories, they're memories of a trip, a conversation, a sunset, or a new friendship. That's why we travel, right? to find the things that change us, even if it's just a little bit. Brazil has a way of getting under your skin, and its food is the perfect entry point. It's bold, it's generous, and it's full of heart. Whether you're planning your first trip or looking back on your 10th, these flavors are a constant reminder of the warmth and the spirit of Brazil. It's a country that feeds your soul as much as it feeds your body, offering a culinary tapestry that is as diverse as its people. So, if you ever find yourself wandering the streets of Salvador, listening to the drum beats, or sitting in a bar in Florianopolis, watching the waves roll in, or just exploring the vibrant, chaotic markets of São Paulo, take the time to really taste everything. Don't just eat to get full. Eat to experience. Eat to remember. Because these are the flavors that will stay with you long after you've left. They're the hidden gems that turn a good vacation into a life-changing adventure. And who knows? Maybe you'll find your own favorite, the one dish that you'll be dreaming about for years to come. It's truly a remarkable thing, the way a specific spice or a certain way of preparing a vegetable can transport you back to a specific moment in time. The smell of the charcoal grill, the sweetness of the condensed milk, the crunch of the farofa, these are the sensory anchors of your Brazilian journey. They ensure that you never truly leave the country behind, because a part of it remains in your palate, waiting for the next time you can return. Thanks for joining me on this delicious journey through the heart of Brazilian culture. It's been a pleasure sharing these stories with you. There's so much more to explore in this beautiful, vast, and flavorful corner of the world, and I can't wait to show it to you. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button and let me know in the comments which of these you'd want to try first, or if there's a Brazilian dish I missed that you absolutely love. And of course, don't forget to subscribe for more cinematic journeys through the most fascinating, tasty, and breathtaking places in South America. Until next time, keep exploring, keep tasting, and keep